Think running a day spa is all massages and relaxation? There is nothing relaxing about owning a day spa, but we're here to help. Serious spa owners know that being in the spa business isn't for the weak. It takes hard work, planning, and just a bit of luck. We should know because we've owned a successful day spa for over 20 years. Now we're opening up our playbooks and giving you the business insights to run your day spa rather than letting it run you. This is a Spapreneur podcast with Lynn Graves and Ramona Rice.
What's up, Ceci?
Rain. It's April, and it's not supposed to be raining. And snow, potentially. And, you know, I'm bitching, and we're on the lower end of this stuff. Yeah. People up north, man, I'm feeling
Beth Wade is feeling it in Chicago.
Yeah. Well, she's stupid. She shouldn't live there. She should come live with us. We're wonderful.
I think at this point she would. I think all the six pillars would like.
I'm looking for a wonderful partner.
Yeah.
Not really, but I would take her on. Oh, hi, guys.
Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Spapreneur Podcast. Real quick, before we get into our show, I want to remind you guys, SpapreneurCommunity.com. You have until May 1st to get...
That's Mona's birthday.
That is my birthday. To get 50% off your either yearly membership or month-to-month membership forever, so long as you don't cancel. So the normal price is $97 a month. What comes in with the Spapreneur Community membership? Access to Lynn and I.
Oh, did I tell you that yesterday, since you weren't available because Mona was off at IKEA playing Soon to Be Bride, and I thought, I'm going to drop in on the Six Pillars girls. Mm-hmm. And I got to talk to them and play with them for a little while. It was so much fun.
Yeah. So weekly mastermind calls as a group with myself, definitely. Lynn does pop into them time to time.
Normally I'm hanging upside down in the computer because I'm looking over the computer, hanging upside down looking at you guys.
Yeah. Or having like a crisis like the dryer. Then also you get unlimited access to all of our courses. Every course we've ever done.
Ooh. I'm belching, folks, and y'all can hear that on a previous recording. And I just took some vitamins, and ooh. Why do people take vitamins?
And then there will be a private forum for you talking about nonsense from the podcast. There's a private area we'll be talking to. No, I've worked really hard in this community. It's absolutely, I believe, and I'm going to say it with pride, the absolute best community out there for people who are really getting serious about your
you don't believe
spapreneurs.
us, ask Beth.
Ask all of them, because if you ask any of my Six Pillars members, all of them, every single one that has done the stuff, amazing strides.
Well,
I'm
they've
so
been
proud of them.
sending you accolades, and they're like, oh my God, we love Ramona, and Mona's this, Mona's that. And I begged them yesterday, please stop making her head any bigger than it is. And Beth said, I want to tell you why we say it. And she gave me the whole story of the thousands of dollars she had spent in other ways, other places, and it was bullshit to her, maybe not to others, but to her. And she said, but when she started listening to some of our free stuff and doing some of the free stuff, she realized there was real meat in this. And so she invested with Mona, and they're like besties now. It's the sixth group and Mona are like the silliest little things ever. We're going to have a reunion at some point.
Yeah, so we've got other stuff coming on too, but it's just I wanted to figure a way. We are opening a new session of Six Pillars, by the way. I'll have announcements for that later. But
it's like the Brady Bunch, you know. Everybody's up on their blogs and they're looking down at each other.
Why I'm doing the community session is I wanted a way to make it easier for you guys to afford coaching with me, because private coaching with me starts at $425 a month.
Here's what's really cool though. Private coaching is very important, especially when you're more advanced and you're needing some real nitty gritty details.
Or like I worked with Janine Z over in Buffalo, New York, who's just starting her career, and she wanted just a clear path.
Yes, so she used Mona as one of the roadmaps for her. And if you don't know what a roadmap is, you go back to the beginning of our podcast and you start from there. But what's really cool is they're not only just getting you, they're getting a group. And like, we're starting to work on this forum about cybersecurity. Yeah. And Beth's fiance knows a lot about it. So we're going to try to bring it in and introduce it to you guys.
And that's going to be exclusive for the Spapreneur membership community. And this is the reason why. It allows us to invest more time in better quality content for those people who want to invest in it. And here's what also it allows. I love our free Facebook group. That's not going away. So because But
these are people that are invested and research, and they have the roadmaps.
And they're of your caliber. So trust me, people succeed in groups. So you need
I wish I'd had that.
I really do wish.
I'm telling you, the internet wasn't even invented. Al Gore had not invented it yet.
Okay, so today's topic is actually inspired by a conversation with one of our 6 pillars.
It is, and it was inspired by my Las Vegas girl. And this is sort of a very sensitive subject. This is going to offend some of you people. It is going to make you question who I am as a therapist and as a woman. But you have to know where people are coming from in life. So keep that in the back of your mind as I say all these things. This advice is not for everyone. This is something that if you can take some from it and do something with it, great. But I can tell you my Michelle at work would simply laugh in my face and say, you are stupid, and walk away. That's who she is. I understand that. But for those others out there, let's define flirting. Let's define sassiness. Let's define when men potentially you feel like could be misbehaving, but are they? And what do we do about it? So I'm going to relay a story to you guys. Remember, I started 22 and a half years ago. AMTA had not really gotten Virginia licensed. There were, I don't even know how many states were licensed at that point. So I am grandfathered in. I did not have to take a national testing. I'm the last class that did not have to take it. But we had no rules and regulations. In a previous podcast, I I told you guys, my original licensure from the city says I am a massage parlor.
Massage
parlor, as my English guy used to say. And I would get all the funky wonky calls because, massage was very new in our area and a massage could mean only one thing, that I was going to get a happy ending. I'm sorry, folks. I was getting enough sex at home. I didn't need to give it out for free someplace else. I know, Mona, you were hatched. Trust me. There was no sex involved in you.
I'm like, Jesus.
You were like the virgin birth.
Yes.
Okay. But I had this one gentleman. Remember, I started at $25 an hour. Once again, if you don't know this, go back to the original podcast
you were
that we
still
did.
fairly young. You were 36 when you started.
I was 36. I am a Southern born and bred woman. I was born into a family with a very gregarious attorney and a socialite mother. That my stepmother was socialite. My real mother was balls to the walls. I mean, I learned the words tits up from her when we take pictures. You pull your boobies up and makes you nice and straight.
Grandma Tigger.
Grandma Tigger had no censor at all. So you got to understand where I'm coming from when I tell you some of these things.
And Southern ladies, I'll say this, we are bred to be a little bit more
bawdy.
Yeah. And this is the thing. I think it's the accents or just the sweet tea or something.
No, we know how to manipulate our men. That's
it's true.
Just flat out.
And they like it.
Yeah. And it's easier to manipulate.
And I think it's a generation thing because when a man calls me sugar or honey, I don't care.
Oh, I like it. I think it's sweet. Now, if he's
gross, then no.
Well,
it's the tone.
It's the tone. Hey, sugar. That's like, oh, hi, honey.
Yeah, and that's different.
I like that. I like the wolf whistles when I walk past a construction company. Trust me, when you don't get that whistle, you're like, what the hell? Am I too old? Oh, shit. I need to go get a facelift, which I did.
I'm so oblivious to the whistle that, but I'm super in love with my geeky fiance.
Oh
my God, he's so cute. Oh my God, I love him so much. So yeah, but that's the thing, when you're secure in yourself, when people do that to you, typically, and if you're in control of the situation, that's the key too. But it's different when you're one-on-one in the rooms. It can be very, very uncomfortable.
It can be, and that's where your intuition kicks in and everything. So let's talk about E-Man for a minute.
E-Man.
I was making $25 an hour. My husband was fully endorsing me doing this business. The kids were like, hey, mom's, selling naps and rubbing people and bringing sheets home for us to wash. And this gentleman really, really, really was pushing the limits on not wanting to stay draped. And I was just so new and nervous. He didn't make me nervous. He was just requesting, could I not have the sheet? I'm like, why? But I would keep the sheet on him. Well, one day he called my house because, all my clients at that point, all 10 clients had my phone number at home. There were no cell phones because that's when we were carrying suitcases for cell phones. And he called. He said, look, Lynn, if I pay you $100 an hour, can you just take that damn sheet off? And I went, yep, I sure can. And my husband, after I hung up, he just laughed. He said, yep, everybody's got their price. I said, yes, they do. He never threaten me. I never felt threatened. If the dude wanted his wanker hanging out while I gave him a massage, I don't care at that point. Was I a little bit uncomfortable because it might potentially put me in a situation? Yes. But I thought $100 an hour, yeah, he met my price at that moment. And I never had any issues with him. Now, he would creep me out because he would keep his eyes open the whole time. So I would very quickly, like he did an hour and a half, I would very quickly do tops up. We call it dicky up. And I would quickly work on him within 20 minutes and flip his ass over.
Or prone is the correct term.
Oh,
he was prone.
And then we would go dick down, which is supine.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Let's use our big words.
I want y'all to not judge me on this. It was not against the law. There were no guidelines or regulations. There was nothing. I had to go with my gut, my intuition.
And did he ever, in all of this, I'm going to ask this, did he ever ask you to touch it, or
Nope.
he touched it?
Nope.
Okay.
So I kept him for several years. Now, I did finally kick him off my table, and it was because he got verbally abusive with me. And he claimed that I bruised him, and he was very angry about that on his arms. And I knew I hadn't done that. And I'm a child of verbal abuse, and that's where my line is very quickly. You do not verbally abuse me. And he did. And so I wrote him a letter and said, you will never do that to me again, and you're off my table. Where a year later, he called my husband and said, I don't know what I did, but I want to get back on her table. Well, by then I had a couple more people, and he called me. I said, look, Bill, you want to come back in? Fine, but you're not going to see me. You're going to see Bonnie. Now, see, Bonnie will also work undraped because she's very comfortable with that. She ain't going to put up with the bullshit either. I will also say this about Bonnie. Bonnie was the only therapist that left me, and every single one of her clients left with her. She was so good, and they did not return to me until she retired. She is a good friend of mine, a lovely mentor. I wish her the best. And that's the only time in my career that ever happened to me. He died of cancer. And we didn't know this until we were missing him. Bonnie says, I haven't seen Bill in a while. I said, well, call his house, see what's up. And his wife answered and was very distraught and said, well, he died. So I'm just relaying this story out there to you that just because they ask for a certain something doesn't mean they necessarily want you to do it. Should you do things outside of the law? Absolutely not.
No. So let's talk about this very clearly. This was back in 1996.
Yes.
There were no regulations.
Not for us.
Once there were regulations, though, guess what? Everybody's covered in our studio now.
Yes.
We don't do undraping.
Unless it's a lymphatic or something that's in
the scope of practice.
And even then, it's with it's very sensitive kind of thing that we go through. Mm-hmm. And also, usually, if we're in that kind of situation, normally I'll be in the room with them so that there's no miscommunication.
Right.
I will tell you that we've got a gentleman that it was diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer. And with a lot of research, we found out that before he did surgery, that there were things in the very low abdomen that in other words, we had to get him to hold his wanker to the side, even though it wasn't going anywhere because the prostate, to soften everything up. That surgery, his nerves peeled like butter off of his prostate. And the surgeon said he had never seen something. So that was pushing the boundaries. I'm hoping to get into Virginia's laws that with some specific training that we can do things that medically would help. So I'm saying you have to use your guts, your instinct. You have to be careful. I'm saying all this because, well, before I say all this, you had a situation where you were laying on a table and somebody was massaging you. Stan was?
Oh, yes. Oh my God. So funny. Stan is always professional, so this was not Stan doing this, but we had a quirky woman working for us.
Quirky is a mild term.
And she was talking to Stan. And so when Stan would work on me when I was there full time, it was always a rule that if you wanted to come in and observe and learn from Stan while he was massaging me, I was fine with it because we are a teaching facility with our mentoring facility. And that's the way we learn. So yes. I try to be generous that way. Well, this one, oh my God, it made Stan and I both go, what the fuck? There's no other way to say it.
Obviously, it's a good story because I'm still laughing about it and we still tell the story.
She started talking about how all the different massages she went to, and then she talked about, I want to learn how to do vaginal massage. And that's when I was like, excuse me? I'm gonna tell this right now, y'all. Unless you're a gynecologist and or my fiance, there is no vaginal anything.
And as an OBGYN, don't you be massaging that shit down there.
No, that's how the hand rocks the cradle starts. So it's just it's very.
There, Stan's
and
response
that's a woman.
Was immediately his eyes got big. He stepped back. He went, no, we don't touch that. No.
Yeah, or like I was at a sex push call and they were talking about going inside the sinus passages. I'm like, oh my God. But that's the thing though. There are some modalities and some training and areas in the world where these things are considered normal and things like that. We've had German clients come into our studio wanting, well, why didn't you do that down there? And we're like, no, in America we don't do that.
Oh, that's another one of my stories. Yeah. Dirk, who was one of my very first clients, we're sort of a international hub because we've got a lot of science.
Yeah, and NATO also too is down is around here.
So this guy came in. His name was Dirk. He was from Germany. He was young. He was so good looking, and before I could get out of the room, that dude was dropping trowel. I mean, he just
because in Europe it's totally different.
It is, but there was an energy about him that was never threatening. So I would just kind of turn my back real quick and let him get on the table. I mean, and I love what one of my other first time clients said, which I wish all men would understand this, and a lot of times they do. Is I don't have time for sex when I'm getting a massage. Good sex is really hard work, and I want to relax.
Yeah. So I think the reason why we're telling these stories is that sometimes we see these a lot in the massage therapy, particularly groups. Not so much estheticians. I think people know when you're going in there.
Oh, I could tell some stories on that with Kay. Ooh.
I'm sure. But Kay has the pokey devices that are painful.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we've had to fire some clients out of there too.
Yeah. So it happens in all modalities. Even like, nail techs with men get weird.
Haircuts. Did you know my girlfriend Lori, guys will put their hands under the cape and start moving around doing stuff. And she has taken her hands off and said, no more, dude.
Wow.
I know.
It's super public.
What the fuck?
God, men
okay, I dropped the F-bomb. I'm trying to cut back on them, but
men are gross.
So, and the boys that are listening to this, we don't think you're gross because we know you're
a professional massage.
It comes down to security and how you feel about yourself. So this all came up because one of our beautiful therapists, she had a situation where she had a high-end client that came in and she called him a wiggleompulus.
Yeah.
Something like that. It was
like
so funny.
Wiggle.
Yeah.
Wiggle.
Rather than calling him a weenie whacker because he wasn't touching it, he was just wiggle. And she just couldn't get the right vibe on it and what was going on. And he paid her really good money.
And she's a single mother. She's an independent massage therapist. So she knows.
And she's just getting started making money.
Like good money. Yeah.
Yes.
She's really like excited and the momentum's on her side. And she's had, just the sheer fact that she's been so successful is a testament to herself.
Yes. And so what I liked about when I called her up and personally talked to her was I think that there was the group that they were surprised when I said, I would go back and definitely massage him again. He paid her over $350. And that is awesome money for an hour and a half. I mean, face it, folks. He never did anything truly inappropriate. I found out he was in his 70s, somewhere middle to late 70s. I think he just wanted to flirt. Now, not Michelle.
But the wiggle part kind of does bug me.
You read my response. I would slap his butt and say, get still or I'm going to stop.
Stop that. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing.
Do you have an itch that you need to scratch? Because you better scratch it quickly and be done with it.
Look, you can be cute.
I'm not talking about getting himself off. I'm talking about a real itch.
Yeah. But like, when how do I put this? You could be flirty in the massage room. You could be friendly in the massage room.
I flirt all the time. It's my nature.
Right. You could be friendly in the massage room, but you still control that room.
Yes.
That's the bottom line. You control that room. You are the queen, empress, goddess moonshine of that goddamn massage room.
Yes, absolutely.
That treatment room is your domain. You are empress above all. And if at every point you're so uncomfortable, get them off your table. No money's worth it. So that's not what we're saying.
But that's not what we're saying. That's why I said this was a sensitive subject, because some of you are going to go, hell no, I wouldn't.
And some of you probably are probably like, I'm never listening to this podcast. So we get that. We
get that. We do. And but I am female enough in my southernness to say, I don't have a problem with this. I'll tell you a dirty joke. You can tell me a dirty joke. Just don't touch the shit.
This was
okay?
my rule when I was a massage therapist. You don't touch it. You don't ask me to touch it. We're good.
Yeah. You don't play with your toy. I play with your toy.
I'm definitely not playing with it because there's no
you want to
muscle
play
down
with
there.
your toy, there's another place you can go to.
It's called your house and your wife.
Yes.
That's where you should go.
So, but for me, and my response to her when I found out he was in his 70s was, unless he's taking a pill, he probably really can't get it up anyway. I like what my client buddy says. Oh, no, that ship has sailed. And I find that hysterical. And so just don't overreact to the situation. Think it through. Use your gut intuition. If you're going over there again or you're going into a situation and you thought, let me try this again, see what happens, you let someone know that you're there. Or you tell them if this is an out call. You say, I need someone to carry my table for me because it makes me too tired. He also had an entire staff there with him. So I personally would have felt safe in that situation.
Bill Clinton also had an entire White House with him and he was getting his...
I would have loved to have had Bill Clinton on my table.
Gross. Gross.
I think the man was hysterical.
I think
Monica could have said no.
I think he took advantage of a situation and he used his power and influence and he tricked that poor girl. And I do because but here's the difference. It's a generation thing.
It is. And I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. It is. Men, I'd say 65 and above, many of them have been raised in an atmosphere where that was socially acceptable to approach women. They've not figured out how to pull it back because see that feeds to their ego. And when you're in your 70s, my 80-year-old client, I tell him what a sexy hunk he is all the time because he needs to hear that. He needs to know that someone much younger than him still finds him sexually and visually appealing. And he is to me. That doesn't mean I want to have sex with him. It means I find pleasure in looking at him and talking to him and being around him. So that's just me. And Mona's sitting here like scowling at me, but Mona even has it in her because she's a product of me.
No, I do. And
I do this shit in front of my husband.
No. That's the thing. He's
such a voyeur.
When I was dating before, Mystery Nerd, I was
Adams.
But here's the thing. I was really good at it. People are like, oh my God, because I'm a plus size woman and I don't hide that fact.
I got to tell you.
And people are so funny. They're like, how do you get all these men? I'm like, it's confidence.
Mona had never had a problem dating. She has been a plus size girl since she hit puberty. And I once said to her something about dating and we were talking about something and she said, Mom, I don't need to do that because I am bigger than the room. When I walk in, people know I'm there. It's her confidence.
Yeah.
She knows she's beautiful on the inside and that makes her beautiful on the outside. But that can also lead to a come on from men she's not comfortable with and she has a way of shutting them down. So once again, I'm not saying to get to the edge. I like what she said to me yesterday. She said she has been told by other clients that she's worked on that many therapists will walk to the edge and look over to see if maybe they want to. She'll walk to within a foot of that edge, say, nope, I don't think so. And they make note of, she has a very firm line in the sand. So if you know where to stop,
and here's the thing, in this day and age, the law's on your side.
It is.
Use the law. Use the regulations. So if you're like with a man, like, I want to be in trip, I'm so sorry. State regulations say that you can't be.
Yeah, and
use
we
those
use that.
regulations.
And if they say, but I need you to work way up high into the adductor. No, actually what I do is I say, that's fine, but we have to do it over a towel.
Or you have to wear gym shorts.
And because we do ashi, we have options to get up there and do it with our feet. So, and if it's one of my younger therapists, let's say 30 and younger, that I don't think has the confidence to be able to control it, then we don't allow that and for their safety. But 9 times out of 10, I find out they really did need adductor work. It was never about anything other than real adductor work. And they appreciate that we talk about it.
And the massage schools do a good job, but they sometimes make it so scary.
Yes. Oh, my God. Don't touch the neck. Don't touch the front of the neck.
Oh, God forbid you touch the anterior part of the neck.
Oh,
God forbid. God forbid. And I'm going, well, the sternocleidomastoid goes through there.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
You know, like the jaw, like the mandible. Like if
Yeah.
you're not getting underneath there,
Yeah.
I recently had worked there, but it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. This is where a couple things to get through this topic. Number one is I've said this before, know your own core values.
Yes.
I am a person that it doesn't matter how much money. You know what I mean? And that's just me, and that's fine. But
that's because I raised you right, because you never had the insecurity issues I had. See, I was still trying to prove myself. Mona came out of the womb proven.
Right. Because I'm a freaking rock star. Okay. So that's number one, is that you need to know your core values, and if you're kind of wishy-washy on this, get yourself into therapy or get yourself into reading some books where you can build up that great mindset of, I'm a rock star too. You need to go in there being a rock star. Our next episode, we're going to be talking about that, because that's part of controlling the room is number one. Number two is this: know your laws and regulations in your area. Know them and use them to your advantage. So
know your scope of practice.
Yeah, know what you can and can't do. That's really important. 3, more education, advanced education.
Yes.
Because if you've got clients that are asking for adductor work, guess what? You probably need to take a neuromuscular class.
Yes.
You need to take a myofascial class.
Yes.
Not just
lymphatic.
Oh my God. So
even the
important.
basic, just the one basic 40-hour Vater's lymphatic course is awesome to know. And you, in that class, you will be working on bare breasts.
Yeah, and I've had lymphatic drainage done before I had surgery. Yeah, I had it done, and
awesome,
it made a huge difference.
Yes, it did.
Before my breast reduction, I had it done, and it was a huge difference, and it made my recovery time so much better. Yeah. So, those are the 3 things I tell you. And again, I'm going to emphasize this with enough thing. Every massage therapist is different. You mother hens out there that listening, and I know you're listening because you've been waiting for us to do this kind of episode. Bring it.
But just know that this is the beauty of our group, is that we all come from different avenues and different walks of life.
Absolutely. And again, we have never said no judgment, because our community can be so much better if we get the judgment out of it. I would never do that. Notice, and I think you can clearly say, like, again, I would never have allowed E-Man to even be, no.
Oh, it stood for erection, man.
It did. I remember this but again,
and my husband's the one that gave him the name.
It's true. But that's the thing. My mother and I are different people. So I can't judge her and her decisions back in 1996.
And I would never do anything like that now. 1, the laws have changed. 2, my core values have changed. And I wouldn't allow any of my therapists to do that. In fact, with one of my male therapists, he used to, with the permission of the women, pull the sheet down to the waist, reach across them, pull up from the hip. It was the most glorious kind of.
Oh my God.
So it was just and he'd lift you up while you were face up. But I went back to him and I said, you will not do this. This puts you in a very, very bad position.
Yeah.
And it's a problem waiting to happen. So, and he stopped. So we don't tolerate that. But I am saying, don't immediately shut someone down because they might want to flirt a little bit. I'll tell one more quickie story.
Sure.
And then I think this will help clear it up a little bit. We had this husband and wife. I talked about this a little bit in another episode. And he was coming in, he was getting waxed, and they were getting couples massage. They're very particular about who they want. Well, that therapist had given him her personal phone number. That's fine. She's an independent contractor. She can do that. But I always caution them, when you do that, you open yourself up. She's beautiful, too. She is just lusciously gorgeous with long curly hair. She's just and madly in love with her husband. Well, the guy called her up one day and said, I'd like to know how, after a massage, what I could possibly take that would keep me, help me get erections. And
naturally.
She took it completely wrong. This became, I kicked him out, I called him up, and then fortunately, after listening a little bit more to her, and then he was just devastated. Because he said, I really was just trying to get some information. I went back to him. I said, look, she's not comfortable working on you anymore, but I have to appreciate where you're coming from, because you're turning to us for holistic help and you're looking for something that can help you without taking a little blue pill. So I can't give you that advice. 1, I don't have that knowledge. I want you to research it. I know some other people that do, but I'm going to put you with a different therapist. He was so grateful that I settled down, because he also was very embarrassed when he asked her. She was too young to handle it. And then I went after her and said, shame on you. One, you shouldn't have given out your phone number. You already had reservations about them. And two, you should have listened a little bit more. So this is a situation that could have completely gotten out of control, but we were able to take it and turn it back around for the good of him and his wife, who still come in. Now, we don't wax him anymore because he just couldn't help himself but get a little bit of a boner when she was waxing around the area. And Kay said, no, he off my table. I know waxing.
It's exactly what she sounds like.
Yeah. So we've shut that whole thing down because we don't even know what the real law is on that anymore. They teach it, but on Brazilians, we're like, it's just not worth our license or anything else. We've just taken it off the table.
Oh, we don't do men's waxing?
No. We do men's waxing, but we'll do a bikini line, but we won't go any more than a bikini line, and they have to remain completely covered up with a small towel and all the whole time.
Good. Yeah, but I mean, again, that's her comfort level.
Yeah. So when I say this happens in estheticians' rooms,
she controls that room.
Oh yeah. Then I can tell you about the guy who came in and brought toys on his second visit when he was getting waxed. She's like, "Oh no, I no do that. No, you off my table."
Why? Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. I'm going to say this. I have gotten Brazilian waxes before.
They hurt.
I'm like, people are into some weird shit.
So you estheticians out there, this shit can happen to you
too.
too.
You too. Anyway.
Thank God for our gay men that come in to see us. They never give us these problems.
I know. God almighty.
So I hope that this has reassured some of you that you're not breaking the law by flirting. That you can still be kind.
Boundary.
Yeah, I was going to say there's nothing morally or ethically wrong with flirting and being sweet and kind if that's your nature. But there is a line. So you don't have to be stuffy. And this is the core value of our whole group is we're sassy and serene.
Yeah.
So our sassiness demands that we kind of grin and flirt and joke around. But my massage is serious work. And don't fuck with that. So there's that line.
There is that line.
I love you guys. So take this all with a grain of salt. If you want to discuss it more, reach out to us privately and we can talk it one-on-one. Okay.
This is a great conversation for spapreneurcommunity.com. There we've got, is it Sparpreneur? I think it's SparpreneurMembership.com. This is sad. I don't even know my own URLs. But also,
she's not a morning person. We're doing this in the morning
on a
Would
Saturday.
You like some Diet Coke?
No. So SparpreneurMembership.com. There you can sign up. Again, 50OFF is the code to get 50% off through May 1st for lifetime. So instead
That's
of paying
so original, Ramona.
Look, I made it easy to remember, okay? If you have previously purchased things from us before, you get an even better discount. But you have to reach out to me personally, hello@spapreneur.com, to get that personal discount. I've sent it out to you. Don't pay full price when you don't have to. However, this will be the only time I ever offered this deal.
Ooh, she's got that look on her face, that nasty grin. Mm-hmm. My child is secretly, she's very evil.
No, I'm not evil. I know what I'm worth. I know what you're worth. And I know what this community is worth.
I told you, she was born out of the womb way too confident.
I'm a fucking rock star. We'll talk to y'all guys later.
Bye.
Need more actionable steps to get your spa headed in the right direction? Head to spapreneur.com where we've got the tools, tricks, and methods to making your spa as successful as it can be. Spapreneur.com.